Hi, this is Mark Soden for Wonder Valley Experimental 14. I'm here with Robert Pepper of Musique.
Well, my name is Robert Pepper. I am currently in Brooklyn, New York, where I'm a native here, and I'm an artist, musician. I also work in post production and media, and make films. Recently, I'm selling my old comic book collection, and that's going to be money put into more gear, hopefully.
Outstanding. So, how did you hear about Wonder Valley Experimental?
Well, God, it's probably been everything's been more than 2 years at this point with COVID, but I think it was years ago. Amanda Chowdhury played there. Captain, we all know her from Captain,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember watching some of the video and hearing about it, and I was like, wow, that's a great idea. I never really have played in the desert before, so it's kind of like it kind of interests me. And so I've been following you for a while, and then I heard it was Steve Davis's baby actually, and I was like, oh wow, cool. Steve's a great guy, and I've played up in Massachusetts, and he's hosted me and stuff, and I was like, I didn't know that, and so that I was like, oh, this has got to be a great group of people if it's Steve. you
Well,
know,
it is a great group of people, and yes, Steve is the originator of the festival, and it just sort of came to me at a point, and I'm soldiering on with it. So,
Awesome. Kudos to you. It's not easy. I know I've done a festival for 7 years. We haven't done it for a while, but it's a lot of work. And man, good luck to you.
well, thank you so much. Moving on to show and tell. This is the part of our interview where we talk about gear, your process, shooting, editing, and locations if you choose. So, if any of those things appeal to you, start anywhere.
Well, I did watch a couple of the videos that you've done, so I kind of know the whole thing that you format you did, and so I brought out a couple of things, and I've been really obsessed with a program called Groove Rider by Jim Audio, and I always said that I wouldn't use iPads or stuff like that. But then I was like thinking, I don't want to be carrying around like a sampler or whatever because it's just the same thing. You're pressing buttons and mixing a little. So I came across Groove Rider GR16. I'll endorse it. It's right here. It's a super cute little thing that goes with,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and I've been doing this now for probably like 4 years now. And before that, I wasn't using anything like this, maybe a sampler here or two, and it was more improv. But like these days, it's gone back to 50-50 improvisation and then 50 kind of set kind of stuff. But the Groove Rider is just pleasant. It's so much fun and so easy to use. And yeah, I used to do a lot more beat oriented stuff with my older kind of krautrock psychedelic project Magnus Rigo back in the day. And I kind of got away from that and did more improv, but now I'm kind of back where I started the Groove Rider, sequencer, sampler. So yeah, and you'll hear some of that at Wonder Valley. And I also, and it's all about traveling, right? So like, I don't want to carry all these like big things. So I started getting these little Roland boutique scents. I'm sure you're aware of these.
Ooh, yes. Harkens back to the original SH1. Yeah.
Exactly. So I got that one, and I got the Jupiter one as well. And they're so amazing, these tiny little things. And I tour. I try to tour as much as I can. And it's like my back is starting to say, you shouldn't be carrying all this stuff. So it's nice to have these things that are coming out that are this big, and they're powerful. They have a lot of
Mm-hmm.
great sounds in them. I do use pedals. I like various delays and stuff. I got a pedal board, but I'm veering away for that because it's like, yeah, you think like, oh yeah, just a couple of pedals, and then you start buying all these pedals, and then you have a big piece of metal. It's like 50 pounds. so so yeah, these are the new toys that I've been using, and the process is different for like every collaboration I do or group. You know, Palm Musique is a four piece, but it could be a solo, it could be duo. It depends upon his life. Michael had a kid just recently, and so you haven't seen him for a while. So these days I'm kind of doing a more solo. Um, so I've been using all these things. But when the guys are jamming, have like guitars and drums, it depends upon the format. And I've also been working with Robin Story from Raccoon, and we do a lot of stuff online now. Probably going to one of your other questions with the pandemic, Um, what do we use? This online January. January is called online jam kind of thing. And you could record too. Sound quality is not that great, but for what we wanted, we actually got a pretty good sound out of it. We came out with two collaborations called Confluences 1 and 2, which is special edition. So that was quite fun. But that's the process. I mean, video. We do work through video. As I said, I do like post production, video and stills, so I have access to some of that and kind of know how to do all those things. But I guess less and less we do video with Palm Musique. Probably should do more. We used to do a lot more. I mean, I make films as well, so that's kind of what I use my video skills for. You know, but it's I like the improvisational aspect of everything, creating stuff, but I also like to kind of have somewhat of a plan, and the plan could totally be killed at, first minute in if I start playing with some aspects of my imagination or whatever. Yeah, so that's kind of the process. You start off with a couple of ideas on what you're going to do, and then maybe you're going to just throw out the whole thing. Maybe you're going to use it. Who knows? You just got to keep moving forward and see what happens. That's what I feel.
Absolutely. Well, and you alluded to some other projects that you're working on. Would you like to comment on that?
Sure. Well, it's been a busy 2 years, I guess, even with the pandemic, working on a lot of stuff that have shelved. I finished a full-length movie that I was working on called The Great Work in 33 Steps, which I had everything shot except for the last scene, which I had to rethink about that because it was supposed to be a room full of like maybe 20 people and at a club, and well, the pandemic hit and kind of depressed me. And I was like, and I kind of wanted to get it done, so I had to rethink the whole ending, which I did, and I think it turned out well. And I kind of used what I have, just like everything else, art-wise, And so my wife was around. And I was like, "What do you think about being in a film?" And she's like, "I don't know about that," but she was good, and she helped me out. And, so yeah, it's called The Great Work in 33 Steps. It's about me making my own tarot deck and tarot paintings, and I got a bunch of performance artists to kind of display their experience with tarot, and it's also based on Hermeticism and the philosophy. And just it was a lot of fun. Met a lot of cool people. Actually got a tour of a Masonic lodge, which was a lot of fun. My friend, he's a 32nd level Mason and occultist, Ariel Sirocco. And so that was kind of one project. The other project was working with Robin Story from Raccoon, who years ago, I mean, I was a big Sylvia France fan. I still am, Raccoon fan. And he, I think, I saw he was coming to the States years ago, and I was like, "Hey, do you need help with the gig?" And he was like, "Oh, yeah, sure." And since that day, we've become friends and collaborators. So over the pandemic, which is a good thing that came out for me, was a two releases with special editions. So we've been working, it's nice to have the little things like that over this time. It's so crazy. And I also work on a lot of painting. You got your painting back there. Pretty cool. Yeah, I work on a lot of painting. I don't know. I like to say I paint energy in a way, and it's like abstract, surreal kind of thing. A lot of different things that come from my head, improvisational, probably more so than anything else these days. Is my thing improvisational, you know.
Well, that's wonderful. Oil or acrylic?
I work in acrylic these days. I used to work in oils, right there. It's in big oil painting, but I got lovebirds, and I hear that fumes are really bad for them, so I stopped the oils and I went to acrylic, and I've been doing that forever actually. You know, because I work in my little studio apartment here,
Mm-hmm.
so there's not much room to have. So, you have everything. It's
Yeah.
New York, so.
Yeah. So let's talk about Brooklyn. Is what's the noise scene like in Brooklyn? I mean, during the pandemic, it's probably less, but I hear that Bob Bellarue is out there doing shows and stuff. Who else is booking?
Well, Bob just announced end times again for the festival coming up in April, so that's really good. I book a series here called Ambient Chaos, which is it's experimental ambient noise. I don't like kind of noise. I like a lot of different kinds of things as long as it's creative. And that started up actually last night again at Spectrum. Where they have a new space now, and I'll probably start that in about a month or so. If they can that. I mean, there's so many different pockets of this thing in Brooklyn and New York. So it's so big, and you always come across like new scenes and things like that. You know, Bob's one of the bigger ones for the noise and some experimental stuff. I mean, but you have like jazz crossing over with like electronics, and that's kind of a thing. I mean, just about everything. But you know, it's such a big place, and there's so many people who find things popping up here. There's a woman called Mio. She did a series on a rooftop. Actually, during the pandemic, she had a lot of shows, but on a rooftop, and it was kind of
That's
cool.
pretty brilliant.
Um, yeah. That was one of the few places. I think that's still going on. I think she had to pause it for a little bit when Omicron came around. But yeah, I mean, it's, you know, cross pollinated and stuff like that. And I know Derek Rush, he books a lot of stuff too. Cathonic Stream, you know, he has a kind of darker noise kind of thing going on.
Interesting. Well, it sounds like it's a thriving metropolis, as one would expect in the greater New York
Yeah,
area.
exactly.
So,
Yeah.
let me ask you, where can people find you on social media and or get your noise or sounds on the internet?
Primarily, we use Bandcamp these days, so it's just TAS Musique, so that's MUSIQUE at bandcamp.com. We also have a website, palmmusique.net. You can find us in Alrealon label, ALREALON, and that's partly my label, partly Philip Silver. Yeah, so those are the primary kind of places you can find it.
It sounds like you have thrived during the pandemic, but this is my new question. You'll have to just bear with me. Has anything good come to your practice due to the pandemic?
Well, as I said, working with Robin
Hmm.
Story. I mean, I have actually gone back to a lot of projects that have been sitting on a shelf and, you know, mixed mastered stuff and like all that kind of thing. And I've finished a project with Ron Anderson. We have a project called Dokumetsu, which we have a vinyl out right now. And it's strangely like all of these things were kind of almost done and ready for the post production process. And then the pandemic hit, and you know, so we're finishing up. So we finished up the vinyl, and actually, I think it was great about Dokumetsu. We got in the one of the first in the queue before everyone started releasing all this vinyl stuff, and so we were actually able to get ours within a few months. And so we're guilty about
Oh,
that.
that's pretty
It takes
awesome.
like a year or two to get one now. But yeah, you know, finishing up all that stuff. You know,
Well, thank you, Robert.
thanks, Mark. I mean, thanks very much. Super excited to meet everybody. Super excited to be playing at Wonder Valley, and hope to see some UFOs.
Thank you so much, Robert. Have a great day, and we're going to end our conversation now.